Hi everyone, Gianni DePocia here with you for TheoTrade, and today is Tuesday, July 29th, 2025. We're seeing stocks pull back a little bit from their all-time highs. The S&P 500 futures registered a new record high yesterday after we received reports that President Trump and the U.S. government secured a trade deal with the European Union. This came after the trade deal with Japan the previous week, but ever since we had that news release, we had that gap higher, and it's been a straight fade. We did have a little bit of a rally after yesterday's sell-off, but it led to a lower high in the morning session, and we've been selling off ever since. Stocks are trying to bounce a little bit here, but all in all, I think the bigger picture in the moment is the earnings coming up in the big tech names tomorrow. We'll look at that in just a moment. But you take a look at the NASDAQ pretty much flat here. And since we're seeing the NASDAQ outperform, I would actually say we're still in a pretty good risk on environment. We're down like, well, barely down. We're down 3 points right here. We did hit a new all-time high today right after the opening bell, sold off almost immediately afterwards. The fact that we're seeing the NASDAQ lead and outperform is a good sign. The Dow continues to struggle. We did see the Dow futures hit a new all-time high, but the Dow cash still has not. And then the Russell 2000 is still nice and coiled up. So I think there is some potential for some volatility here, but I do think it would lead to a dip buying opportunity. That being said, you are still seeing semiconductors lead to the upside. This is bullish price action. And, it's being held up by and large through AMD. NVIDIA hit a new all-time high today as well. But SMH at new all-time highs. SOX, the index itself, still hasn't taken out the July 2024 high, but you'll see here AMD just absolutely on fire the last 5 days, just five straight green candlesticks, and it's hitting its highest level in over a year here. And you can see it's pretty much back to levels not seen since last July. So this is a pretty important name for the whole AI space. You take a look at NVIDIA, new all-time high today, but down slightly on the day. We still have that position open in Broadcom here in the Theo live room. That's hitting a new all-time high. So it's hard for me to be, screaming it's time to be very, very cautious when you have chips hitting new highs. That being said, the rally is going to turn 4 months old next week on August 7th. So, that is, I think, putting it into perspective. At the very least, we should be due for a pause of some sort and may have already started. But, the VIX is starting to pop up a little bit here. And that is noteworthy. It's the VIX cash. Take a look at the VIX futures here. That's starting to creep back higher. But near term, it's all about the big tech earnings. And so you have Microsoft, Apple, and Meta all reporting tomorrow. Microsoft has been a long position of ours. We've been holding it for a couple of months now. It's been working nicely for us. And you could even have a bad response, and that just provides the dip buying opportunity tomorrow. I don't really want to speculate too much on what the earnings results are going to be because there's really no way of knowing, and there's really no way of knowing how the stock is going to react. But you take a look at Meta, this has been another very strong name. But I think it's safe to say that if Meta and Microsoft pull back, then it could drag the equity indices lower. That being said, I have liked some of the price action in Apple recently, but I'm a little concerned that we formed another lower high here, below that high from earlier in July. Apple has pretty much thrown in the towel on the AI arms race. They just said, listen, ours is not very good. We give up. We're just going to farm it out. And the market actually rewarded them for that last time around. So I'm not really sure what they have up their sleeve to please the public tomorrow. It could just be good results. Perhaps, existing phone sales or, new phone sales come in higher than expected. But one thing for sure is that if Apple gets above, 215, 225, you're probably going back to the new all-time highs. And so if you have a situation where Apple makes a run back to new all-time highs, I kind of put it in the same category as Tesla. I'm looking for a rotation within the Magnificent Seven. So again, you've had names like Meta and Microsoft doing very well. Obviously, Nvidia in the Mag 7, but Apple and Tesla have lagged. And when Tesla came alive back last year in the fourth quarter, it was after a majority of the rally in the overall market. So I'm not ruling that out happening once again. And Elon Musk is supposedly sleeping on the floors again. So that is pretty significant. I also have my eyes on what's going on in the US dollar. It's seen a nice rally over the last couple of days. The trade deal with Europe seems to have led to a significant reversal in the euro. So that is noteworthy. The euro is actually making new lows here today. And at the same time, we're seeing gold up. We did just roll to the December contract. Gold is up, silver is up slightly. So I'm interested to see if we can see precious metals rally together with the dollar. We have seen that in the past. But also when it comes to bonds, bonds are having one heck of a day here today. You're seeing the 30-year bond lead to the upside. The 10-year note seeing a nice rally as well. So I can't tell you the last time we had a situation where the dollar and bonds rose together on the same day. It hasn't happened very much recently. Could this mark the shift of a global capital inflow into the U.S. debt market? I mean, after all, guys, the odds of the Fed lowering rates in September, I think, is pretty good. And so I think it could be global capital trying to front run those rate cuts that should be bullish for bonds. We'll see if that actually translates. I need to see the 30-year bond take out this high from July 1st. Crude oil, however, also having a day. So, here I am talking about the dollar, talking about bonds. Something's got to give. I don't see them all continuing in the same direction. Crude oil's up a little bit more today, which is noteworthy, but we're not really seeing that much strength over in the energy sector. XLP is up barely. XLE is up about 0.5%. Last week the best performing sector was healthcare. It's had a bit of a slower start to this week, but I do have my eyes on what's brewing in the biotech space. We were looking for biotech to have a nice move toward the end of last year. It failed, but I think we may have seen some sort of exhaustion here in biotech. And you take a look at IBB, the ETF has done nothing in 4 years. So I think it's time that it comes back around, and there could be some nice opportunities we are watching very closely in the biotech space, more so than the healthcare. Take a look at crypto. Bitcoin still chopping around near the highs. You can see here it rallied off a low from the day, but still in consolidation mode. Ethereum, a bit extended here near term, could use a little bit more choppy price action, but we've had some nice trades in that space. We're just kind of letting things ride at this point. Riot, we booked gains on that last week. This is selling off kind of hard today. Hut, has been actually trending lower for a couple of weeks, but I wouldn't, rule out a low of significance forming here in Hut or in some of the crypto names, especially if Bitcoin starts taking off to the upside again. But again, near term, I think it really just comes back to these earnings in names like Microsoft and in Apple and in Meta here in the near term to help determine whether this rally can go on. Again, we are extended, but that doesn't automatically mean that you need to see a significant drop. I need you to be comfortable with the idea of stocks going sideways for a period of time and kind of just resetting their momentum from that standpoint. So that's what I have for today, everyone. Thank you so much for watching. Hope to see you in the TheoTrade chat room.